Back here on Inside Wrestling Radio, second show, rolling pretty good. Got JD Costello back in studio for part two of his exclusive interview with Inside Wrestling Radio. Last week we covered JD's history. We covered JD's wrestling experience. Talked about his time with Mid-South with Jerry Lawler. We talked about his time in Hendersonville with Viper and HVW. And then we got to Charlotte. And that's where the controversy comes in. JD, welcome back. Appreciate you coming back for a second week. I know it's a little bit of a ride for you, but we really appreciate having you back. Last week, like I said, we went over your history and brought us up to 2009. What you been doing for the past week?
We're planning some things coming up. We've got a couple of things, irons in the fire. Maybe one around the Greenville area. There's a possibility there might be a new
really
new
now
promotion
that's
there.
Something I didn't even know.
I know.
In the Greenville area.
Yes, there might be.
That's outstanding. Let's pick up. We'll get to that, and in fact,
Okay.
that's kind of got me taking it back here a little bit. I had no idea. Let's back up just a little bit to last week's interview where we talked about the night of the 25th of 2009. Was it April 25th, 2009? Was that when it was?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
When the fire department and the police and all that stuff showed up, what was the aftermath of that?
Now, let me backtrack on that.
Sure.
Just for a second. There was always one person on a message board that was always totally against NWA Charlotte, a promoter.
That wouldn't be a wrestling board I would be familiar with.
Not yours.
Okay,
No,
okay,
not the Regal board.
Okay,
no.
good.
Although
Sweating a
you
little.
did kick this person off the Regal board.
He probably didn't need to be there. Go ahead.
Another wrestling fan site out of Charlotte, and this promoter was always very cynical of everything that we did and very critical
Now,
of
was there any
everything we
reason
did.
for this? Did he just didn't like you, or?
No, the reason for it is that he had requested a dinner with me right after we started, was very interested in coming to work for NWA Charlotte and helping us. Well, I had heard many rumors about this person and elected not to hire him. And after that happened, it became a very big negative with him, and that's when he started his campaign to smear my name and to try to ruin NWA Charlotte.
So you wouldn't give him a job, basically,
Correct.
and he took that as a personal affront.
Well, that's what I would surmise, yes.
Sure. Now, what did he do after you told him you didn't have a place for him?
It got vicious on his board on the internet, attack after attack, not only personally, but everything that we were doing. And it just went on and on and on. And
this was all on the internet.
it was all on the internet.
Was he
which
running wrestling shows at all?
only one a year. Not a wrestling show, but, one of those shows where all the gray hairs come out from the past. And
Sure, like a fan gathering type thing?
Yeah. Very much
And where
so.
was that? Where were those taking place?
At the Charlotte Hilton up the road from Charlotte.
So how far was that from the Charlotte Coliseum?
About 10 miles.
Okay. So it's all starting to become crystal clear. But if he was, this is my problem with all of it, JD. If he was only running once a year, why did the NWA Charlotte affect him in any way, shape, or form?
Because it got underneath his skin because he thought he owned Charlotte, North Carolina. He thought he owned the territory, and I guess he did for years until we started running. And I'm an outsider from wrestling. I don't let anybody know who I am, where I am, what I'm doing, and I'll always be the outsider.
Sure.
And he couldn't figure out what was going on. He couldn't get his information from anybody, so he made up his own little story, and anything that happened that wasn't 100% good, he blew it all out of proportion. And a lot of his fans were coming to NWA Charlotte, and that griped him too, because he thought those were his fans, not fans of just pure wrestling. So.
Okay. So it was kind of like they were taken away from him when instead it was just people wanting to enjoy wrestling
It
as a
was.
whole and
It
all
was.
aspects of wrestling.
Right.
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 So what happened? What was the aftermath of the 25th? What came behind that?
Well, they shut it down, and we went to have we requested a big meeting with the city, and had that with all the zoning commissions.
Now at this time you're still facing $5,000 worth of fines.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So we went and had meetings, and basically they said there's no way you can run that building without a fire and sprinkler system, which I didn't know anything about, but there was really no wood in the building either. It was all brick and mortar. But bar none, it was going to cost between $60,000 and $100,000 to put in a fire alarm and all these things that they were requiring, and we couldn't do that.
Sure, who could? You know.
Yeah, so we ended up going to another place called the Metrolina Expo Center. We took our show up there, and there was a promise up there that we were discussing them building a building for us on the property, because once again we were not going to haul our set around, and in fact we had to tear the entire set down where we were at. It wasn't mobile. It was all just junk then. Money gone to waste. But
because it was actually built into the arena.
Oh yeah, it was built by construction workers into the arena. So but anyway, we went up there, and we did 2 shows up there, and then the price came back, and it was just cost prohibitive to build a building up there. It was like $8,000 a month in rent, and we could, there's no way to recoup that. So we said, okay, it's done.
So you were done.
We were done. We were done.
Did you feel defeated? Did you feel like you had lost?
Oh yeah, terribly. Yes. And then there was the rubbing in on the internet by this promoter who continued to discredit us as much as possible. And
it continued even after you decided to go ahead and shut.
Yeah, but the fans loved it. That's all really that matters. All the fans that came to NWA Charlotte loved NWA Charlotte. So
yeah, not just because you're here, not just because you're my friend, but everything I read about NWA Charlotte was good. I mean, the reviews were off the charts, and even behind that, the wrestlers were really behind you. They had your back. And listen, I've been around these guys for 20 plus years, and it's hard for wrestlers as a whole to get behind a promoter. But they were behind you, and I never made it to one of your shows. I got another gig that I was doing at the time, couldn't get up there. Heard nothing but good things. Wanted to come and be a part of it. But like I said, I was getting good reviews all the way down the line because I keep up with this stuff.
Right.
So, I was proud for you, and actually I wanted to come and see you up there, and then the thing happened with the fire department.
Yes.
But we're going to move past that. We're going to get into what's coming up for JD Costello in the next segment here. So we're just going to take a quick time out. When we come back, JD will talk more about his future and what's going on in wrestling, Inside Wrestling Radio.